Thank you, Dale. And well, first of all, I'd like to thank Bernie and the foundation for having me here today. Well, before we talk about the future, we mentioned about pandemic and the changes over the last few years. I want to first do a quick recap of where we stand as an international financial center. Because although the pandemic did affect many ways in our lives and the economy in terms of disrupting the supply chain and also how being business was conducted, I think from the financial market perspective, our figures remain strong, and I'll share that with you. If we look at the equity market last year and funds raised through IPO, we ranked number 4 in the world. Actually, number 1 and 2 was Shanghai and Shenzhen. Number 3 was NASDAQ. So if we're talking about capital free flow market, we actually ranked number 1 in Asia or number 2 in the world. In bond market, we ranked number 1 as a center for arranging Asian international bonds 7 consecutive years, topping the league table. Insurance, we continue to rank number 2 in the world and number 1 in Asia in terms of insurance density and insurance penetration rate. If we look at the banking system, despite the fact that in the last year or two, globally, there were pressure on liquidity, so on and so forth, the total amount of bank deposit in Hong Kong grew by 4.6% in 2021 and grew by another 1.7% in 2022. When it comes into asset and wealth management business, the latest report was released last year. At the end of 2021, our AUM reached close to $4.6 trillion across 19, 20, and 21 through 2 years of pandemic. We actually grew by 48% of AUM across that 3-year period. So you reckon that despite the challenge from pandemic, it might have changed a certain way how we conduct business, but we continue to be in a position of strength and position of scales. And indeed, our business on the market kept growing. So one might ask, so why is that? I think one reason behind this is pandemic or may change our concern, short-term concerns on supply chain, on travel restriction. But what is our core competitiveness? What makes Hong Kong special is down to, I think, rather than what Ronnie mentioned, which is one country, two system, right? Under one country, we provide preferential access to the mainland market. So when international financial institutions or investors looking for access to opportunities in mainland China, the second largest economy and keep growing strongly, Hong Kong is the location. And under two systems, right, we offer free flow of capital, free convertibility of Hong Kong dollars, common law system, and also our regulatory regime compatible with most of the major markets. And of course, our simple and low tax regime as well. So I think all these long-term competitiveness of Hong Kong remain the same, and that's explain why remain strong and keep growing regardless of the short-term sentiment per se. Moving forward, I would say, as I mentioned multiple times, I think through pandemic, technology is being adopted in a massive way. Fintech development, of course, advanced very quickly. Over the last few years now in Hong Kong, we have granted license to 4 virtual insurers, 8 virtual banks. Our own infrastructure, the faster payment system, over the last few years, we have now get we're talking about 12 million registrations under that as well. And at the end of October last year, we see that virtual assets is a business opportunity. It poses certain challenges because of the technology, blockchain and so, but I think what we should do is we should embrace the challenges and leverage on that to capture business opportunities. So we will adopt what we call a same activity, same risk, same rule principle to embrace these challenges and develop the business in virtual assets. So we actually promulgated our policy statement on development of virtual assets in Hong Kong at the end of October last year. And actually since December last year, we have 3 virtual asset futures ETFs listed in Hong Kong already. And in June this year, the new licensing regime for virtual asset service providers will commence operation. I reckon I'm using up my time already, although I only halfway through what I want to say. The last 30 seconds, I think the other change that we observed over the last few years is that ESG, green finance, have come in a big way. As I mentioned in the beginning, we are already the leader in asset management, in bond issuance, in equities, so on and so forth. But ESG will play a big role. So if we do not do ESG right, not only we will not win new businesses, but we might lose our existing market shares. So we embrace it with various initiatives such as the government green bond program, such as a green and sustainable finance grant scheme. I'm happy to share with you that, let's say, last year in 2022, the total amount of green and sustainable debts issued in Hong Kong reached $80.5 billion. Is amount which is 5 times of 2020, so we're growing strongly. If we look at the ESG funds registered in Hong Kong, authorized by SFC at the end of last year, we're talking about 177 ESG funds authorized here. It's an increase of 86% in terms of number of funds. So you'll see that I think ESG, fintech are the way to go, and the government continue to put up different measures to support this growth. Maybe I should stop here to save some time for the rest.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.